The colonel laughed at a black girl's request to use the shooting range. She broke every SEAL record. The U.S. Naval Base in Norfolk was a world of steel, precision, and pride. A place where discipline was sharper than the blades the soldiers carried. Every day, recruits trained under the burning sun, their faces streaked with sweat, their eyes set on the dream of being the best. On the far edge of the field, where civilians weren't usually welcome, a young black girl named Aisha stood clutching her worn backpack. She wasn't a recruit, not a soldier, not even part of the program. She was just the daughter of a janitor. Her father worked nights cleaning the hangars. But today, she wasn't there to wait for him. She was there because of one thing: the shooting range. Aisha had been fascinated by it since she was a child. She had watched, hidden behind fences, as the soldiers practiced, as bullets cracked into targets with deadly precision. She studied their stances, their grips, their breathing. And in her mind, she repeated every move until it became second nature. When she finally stepped forward, her request was simple but audacious: "Sir, can I try the range? Just once." Colonel Briggs, a towering man with a chest full of medals, stared at her as if she had just insulted the entire base. "You," he laughed, loud enough for the whole platoon to hear. "A little black girl thinks she can handle a weapon. This isn't a playground. This is the United States Navy." The recruits chuckled, shaking their heads. Some smirked openly. Others whispered cruel words: "She doesn't belong here. What's she gonna do, cry when it kicks back?" Aisha's cheeks burned, but her voice didn't falter. "Just one chance. That's all I'm asking." The colonel waved her off. "Go home, girl. This isn't for you." But fate has a strange way of turning mockery into destiny. That night, a storm swept through the base, forcing training to pause. The soldiers huddled in the mess hall. Aisha, waiting for her father, sat quietly with her backpack. The colonel, still irritated, decided to make her the butt of a joke. "All right, gentlemen," he boomed, pointing at Aisha. "Since she's so eager, let's give her a toy. One shot. Then we'll all have a laugh." The soldiers roared in agreement. They handed her a standard-issue rifle, far too heavy for her small frame. "Careful," one recruit sneered. "Wouldn't want you to break a nail." Aisha didn't answer. She stepped onto the line, her hand steady. The room fell silent as she loaded the rifle with calm precision, movements she had memorized from years of watching. She inhaled deeply, exhaled slowly. The world around her disappeared. Then, crack! The first bullet tore into the bullseye. Dead center. The room froze. Another shot. Bullseye. Another. Bullseye. The colonel's smirk faded. The laughter died. Every soldier leaned forward in disbelief as Aisha emptied the magazine, every single round landing with surgical precision. When the smoke cleared, the target looked unreal. Not one miss. Not one stray. The silence was deafening. Then a voice whispered, "That's a Navy SEAL record." The colonel's hands trembled. He checked the scoreboard himself. It was true. Aisha had just broken a mark that seasoned soldiers had spent years chasing. One recruit muttered, no way that's possible." But it was. The colonel finally spoke, his voice low. "Who taught you?" Aisha looked him straight in the eyes. "No one. I watched. I practiced. I believed I could." For the first time in his career, the colonel was speechless. He had mocked her, humiliated her, turned her into a joke. But now she stood as something else entirely. Not just a girl. Not just a janitor's daughter. She was a prodigy. Word spread like wildfire. Within weeks, Aisha's name reached higher ranks. Invitations came from special programs, from training units, from the very people who once laughed. The colonel himself sought her out. "You don't understand what you've done," he admitted. "You've proven what even my best men struggle to accept, that greatness has no color, no gender, no boundaries. Only courage." Years later, Aisha stood in front of the Navy SEALs, no longer a civilian, but their youngest and most decorated sharpshooter. And the plaque on the wall of the shooting range told the story: Aisha Daniels, once denied a chance, now the standard of excellence. The colonel had laughed. the recruits had mocked. But in the end, the little black girl who wasn't supposed to belong redefined what it meant to be the best. And no one ever laughed again.